Hello, everyone. Prepare your ears. New intro music. Is that. Come on. Where is it? Oh, don't do this to me. Is that playing? Oh, no. It's not working. Hold up, hold up. Oh, it's because I changed from wired to Wi-Fi. Hold on. Pretend that didn't happen. Give me 1 second. Just talk amongst yourselves while I while I get the right IP address here. Um, just pretend that this is all part of the plan. Well, no plan survives breakfast. Okay, let's try that again. All right, I'm going back to the beginning. I'm going back to the beginning.
Welcome to the joy of coding.
Welcome to episode 18 of The Joy of Coding. Thank you for joining me. That little clip of sound that you just listened to, that was our new intro theme music. Thank you so much to my good friend Barn Costello. Let me just let's talk about that for a second. So I'm going to switch to my screen. Right. So intro music. This is from my good friend Barn, and he and I are in a band together. So shameless plug. Uh, there's a link to videos that our band have put up on the internet here in the agenda. The agenda is available if you look down on Airmozilla. There's like an additional links tab below the video, and if you click on the agenda, which should be the top link, it should open in a new tab, and you can like click on the links in here in the agenda. So we're in a band together. And we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants because we just had like, I don't know if you've been watching from about 10 minutes to now, but we've been having like network problems. I was dropping a bunch of frames, and as Richard has pointed out, I'm currently on wireless, which is that could go south at any moment, but we were having a lot of problems with wired before. So I've switched to wireless, and we'll see how it goes. But if all of a sudden I start stuttering or like uh, I freeze frame and it doesn't seem normal, I'm working on it. Hopefully, I'll detect it and we will do something about it. But fingers crossed, we won't have to deal with that. So this is episode 18. What are we doing today? We're working on. Oh, I want to give you an update. Yeah, so this is what I want to talk about. Last week was awful. Last week's episode, I barely wrote a thing and I barely moved forward at all because I was really struggling to try and figure out how to resolve a promise properly in C++ land, and that was really hard and I didn't know how to do it. And eventually, after talking to a bunch of people in IRC and in real life, I eventually figured it out, and I have a blog post about it. So again, there's a link in the agenda about what I learned and what you need to do, and there's this whole like set of paragraphs and some examples there. So if that's a thing that you've ever run into, check out that blog post because maybe it'll help you. So what are we doing today? Today we're going to work on bug 1172491, which I have not worked on at all. I'm starting from scratch. This should be pretty small, pretty self-contained. Basically, the bug is to make it so that, whoops, I fouled up the link in the agenda. Sorry about that. I will fix that right now. Link, remove, and now attach the right one. So that should update live if you're using the agenda. Otherwise, just truncate the URL yourself. But it's this bug here, enable E10S in safe mode. So, quick explanation. Safe mode is this thing that's available to our users as a sort of a diagnostic tool or a way of kind of putting the browser into a hopefully good state if something has gone wrong. So if you go to help, for example, on OS X, it'll also be under, I think it'll be under everyone's, like all the help menu items. So if you were to like, say, go into the menu panel and go into the question mark, there will be one that's called restart with add-ons disabled. That's also under the help menu here, restart with add-ons disabled, and that's basically safe mode. And it's not just disabling all of your add-ons, but it'll also, like, I think it'll turn off a bunch of things that might be causing problems. It's like safe mode for the Windows operating system, where it starts using really bare bones graphics drivers, like VGA, very simple networking stuff. And I think we do something similar in Firefox, where we just turn a bunch of stuff off, so that hopefully whatever problem you're facing that has resulted in you needing to use safe mode, you can fix and then turn safe mode off, and then you're back in business. But one of the problems, uh, oh great, so this is tangential. Someone has just informed me that people can now subscribe to new episodes on watchpeoplecode.com. If you're watching this and you're interested in uh, watching other people live hack on stuff, because it's great. It's great fun, and it's great seeing what other people are doing. Watchpeoplecode.com is a great resource. Um, there's a fellow who's just aggregating all these different streams of people hacking on things live, and I highly recommend it. Watchpeoplecode.com. Check it out. Going back to this, so what we want to do is make it so that E10S stays on whenever you're in safe mode, because that's a thing that we turned off before, because E10S wasn't stable, and it was like things would explode all the time, and so whenever you went to safe mode, we'd shut it off, so that, okay, well, now you can put your browser into a better state. But now we feel that E10S is stable enough that we can leave it on in safe mode, and there's a good reason for that. It's not just that we're confident, but it's going to help us diagnose things. So, for example, one thing that we often run into is when people report a problem with electrolysis, with E10S, we'll get them to list their add-ons for us. Because add-ons can like really gum up the browser sometimes, especially with E10S, because if they're not E10S compatible, who knows what's going to happen. And so we get them to try and disable those add-ons to see if it's an add-on problem. And some people, in order to do that, what they'll do is they'll go to help, restart with add-ons disabled, not knowing that E10S is also disabled when you restart with add-ons disabled. So if E10S was causing the problem and not an add-on, then we wouldn't know, because they would have restarted with add-ons disabled, and E10S is also disabled, and it looks like the bug's gone, so they'll erroneously assume that it must be an add-on, when it could very well have been E10S causing the problem. So that's the sort of practical reason why we want to make E10S stay on in safe mode. And that's what we're doing today. So, without further ado, let's go!
Here we go!
Alright, so I've already laid out kind of the plan. In my notes here, there should be links to the notes in my agenda, and I'll just look at those now. So I've kind of laid out a very simple plan. The first thing I did was I sent an email to Firefox Dev about what I was doing, because it's sort of I felt like it was appropriate to tell the rest of everyone who's working on Firefox and who's interested in Firefox development about this change, just in case there were any like lingering concerns that I don't know about, or any side cases that I don't know about. So it's always good to sort of, I don't know, my instinct told me that that was a good idea, but maybe it was just a waste of email, but email's email. The second thing I want to do, hold on a second, I want to reorder this a little. I put this sort of in an arbitrary order, but basically this is the point where we disable E10S. So there's this thing in NS App Runner, which is like part of the XPCOM Gecko startup glue gunk that kicks Firefox and Thunderbird and all of those sorts of Zool-based apps up whenever they get started. So this NS App Runner thing has this this method on it called browser tabs remote auto start. And if this returns true, then we are going to start Firefox with remote tabs. And if not, well, then we're not going to. And one of the things that we check, like we check a bunch of things in here. We check the user preference to make sure that the user hasn't shut off E10S. And there's safe mode right here. We check to see if we're in safe mode. Safe mode is a global. I can tell by this G in front. It's this sort of global variable that must exist. I guess maybe it's a static. I don't know. Save mode. Yeah. Well, it's just a global in the NS App Runner CPP file, but not a static. I don't know. I've never. It's been. I'm used to seeing uh, static booleans. I've never seen just a boolean just hanging out uh, in the middle of a CPP file, not inside like a method or a function or a class. So that's interesting. But regardless, uh, we remote auto start. This is basically what's doing the work. Uh, we're checking to see if we're in safe mode, and if so, we set the status value. We log the reason why to the console. So if the user's like, "Why am I not in E10S?" they can open up the browser console, and it will tell them why. And then we don't like because the rest of these are all else's. We just escape this block, and we're done. And so this is the key part that turns it on, and we want to get rid of this bit. So let's do that now. So ns app runner cpp and then remote auto start. Where are we? Here we are. Here it is. Here it is. So this is the stuff we want to get rid of, and we're also going to be not using this status type anymore. We have this like enum at the top of the. We're about midway through the file that lists all the different reasons why E10S might be disabled or enabled, and we use that in telemetry to determine like who has E10S enabled, who has it disabled, and why. Is it disabled because they opted out, or is it disabled because their hardware can't, like their machine can't support it? For example, there are certain APIs that accessibility tools use that will cause Firefox to crash with E10S enabled. So we disable if we detect those, and it's good for us to measure how many people are affected by that, so we know how to prioritize. So that's what these do, and I know the instinct is to remove this entirely, remove this enum, but I'm worried that like it's been a while. Like I'm more of a JavaScript developer. I'm pretty sure I can just remove it and keep these other values as is. I think that'll work. I just wanted to make sure that when I remove this, I don't suddenly throw off the values of these. I'm pretty sure I won't because it looks like there are explicit values set on the enums. Um, but if I were to remove this and these numbers were to shift, that would throw our telemetry all off because the meanings have changed. So I think it's safe now that I see that the values are being set explicitly that I can remove this. But I might want to put in a reason why it was removed. Moved in bug. I'm not even sure. Like my reviewer might say that this comment is not necessary, but it might explain to people, especially because I would be removing a line, and that's hard to see in a blame. You can't see in a blame the stuff that was removed. So this is a way of explaining why we've skipped 3. So over here, now we can just skip this part. Whoop. Great. Now, was there safe mode? Hang on. Was there anyone else using that enum? I don't even remember what that enum was called. E10S. Here it was. K E10S disabled in safe mode. No one's using it in here. I'm pretty sure it's not even accessible, or yeah, it's only used in here. So that's that. That removal that should work. Yeah. Oh, it was defined right above. Why was I moving around so much? So now that should do the trick. But our work's not done just yet. But I still think that that's worth an aw yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we've done this. I'm going to put this back. Remove. Do I come out? keep the values the same so as to not throw off telemetry. Okay, that's done. Next, there are other parts of the UI that, like, in script side will act differently if safe mode is enabled. And that's for things like, what's a good example? Well, for example, this menu item, restart with add-ons disabled, will say restart with add-ons enabled instead. Like we change the UI somewhat. And we are able to detect at runtime whether or not safe mode is enabled, and then we like change bits of the UI. And I believe that there's at least one thing I found that is E10S related that like disables stuff because E10S was not supported anymore. But we can turn that stuff back on because now E10S will be supported in safe mode. So the one I found was in browser.js. That's this one. App info in safe mode. So here are a couple of places where we're checking to see whether or not we're in safe mode. And this one, the remote tabs UI thing, which I don't even remember what this thing does. Sources, window, auto start. I don't even remember what this does, but we can remove this now because E10S will be supported. Oh, it's for menu items. Menu non-remote. Oh, right. It's for these non-E10S windows and new E10S window menu items that we make available for testing. So it's not a huge deal. This thing should only be around in like, or they should only be exposed in non-release builds anyways. I think we make them available in Aurora, but we should get rid of this. So let's do that next. So don't need that one. What else? Was there anything else checking in safe mode here that we need to worry about? There's this observer notification that's fired. I doubt that there would be anything E10S related that listens for that. That maybe would do a thing, but we can check. So there's some NS browser glue observer. There is something in here. Actually, this looks like notifications, so I don't have to worry about that one. And well, hold on a second. About support. G mode. Okay. I'm not too worried about this one. This one, observe. When we observe, the safe mode on safe mode restart does what? Browser glue, prompt the user to confirm, and then we just do it. So that's not a thing that we really need to worry about. Nothing E10S related in there. So what about other things that might check services or in safe mode? Anything in script that I need to worry about? I don't think so. I checked this one. E10S disabled. Aha, here's one. So this is no longer true. So we need to change that one. E10S disabled equals false. Okay, I think that'll do the job. All this is going to get torn out before E10S ships anyway. This is all just the testing buttons for new E10S or non-E10S windows. So I'm not too worried about them just now. Session store. Okay, nothing to worry about there. Bunch of tests I don't think I need to worry about. None of these things smell like places I need to worry about for E10S being enabled. So let's see what happens. Let's build this and see what happens. Now I've been sort of, I just made these changes. I don't even know where I am in my source tree right now. I think it'd be nice if Mercurial showed me if there was an easy way of seeing where I was. I think there probably is, I just don't know it. But this is what I look for, is the the at symbol. And I currently made these changes on top of another thing that I'm working on, which is the thing I was working on last week, and I don't want those changes to be there. So I'm going to check out Central. And now I'm going to commit, and this is for bug. Let E10S be enabled in safe mode. I've started to use bookmarks, so I'm going to add a bookmark. 1172491 E10S safe mode. So now I have a bookmark for that particular commit. Great! And it looks like I've got 0 dropped frames still. That's good news. That's good news. Let's play some more sounds. Do I have any other sounds I wanted to play just now? There you go. One more.
Mamma mia!
That's actually a sound for when things go wrong. So maybe I'll play one more when things are going right.
Oh yeah.
Easily my favorite.
Oh yeah.
One more.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. So here we are committed there, and now I will build, and then we will try it out. We will see whether or not it works properly. We'll run it through its paces. So I did that. We did do this. So we might be done. In which case, we'll post it up for review, and we'll move on to the next thing. What can we do while we're waiting for this to build? Waiting. I think I have a waiting sound. Apparently I have to do a clobber, and so this might take a couple of minutes whenever when I build this. You know what, before I do that, let me make sure that Central is up to date. And I'll rebase on top of it. Like, if I'm going to pull Central, I want the latest. Like, if I'm going to have to do a clobber anyways, I might as well make sure I'm up to date, is my position on it. And it looks like there are still more things from Central. So, and in the meantime, we can start looking at a different bug. As you know, it's never. I don't want to just sit around not doing anything. Always be moving. Always be solving something. So we'll find something to do. There's lots of work. So I'm going to rebase my work on top of tip. All right, rebase went well. So now we will build. Okay. So while we're waiting for that, what else are we going to do? So there was this other bug that I'd been poking at. And again, I got the link wrong. Let me fix that up. That was me being lazy creating these links. So, whoopsie daisy. Let me remove the link. Okay. So in this bug, I guess I'll demonstrate it, and then we'll dive right in. This is a click to play bug. In this bug, we go to this page that, hold on a second. There's actually a video demonstrating the problem. So maybe instead of going through the problems of like setting it up so we're in the right condition, how about we watch this video together of this user experiencing this issue. So play. Come on. Nothing. What's going on here? Alright, well, how about I download it instead? Well, that is... Huh? I don't know why Firefox wouldn't play it, but sometimes stuff happens. Great, downloaded it. 2.7 megs. Here we go. Playing it in QuickTime, apparently. Do it. Okay, it's just an empty video. I'm pretty sure I saw this video and it wasn't empty. So, what's going on? Open with VLC. If all else fails, try VLC. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. So the user clicks on this play. Let me pause and we'll start with an explanation. So the user is at some kind of, I think they're on Google Photos, the new Google Photos website. This bug got filed because of like Google I/O happened and they announced this new Photos app. And there's this video that one of our Henrik Wimbu from if you've ever been in IRC and you've seen Wimbu, he's got this video in I guess his photos collection. I don't really know the context here, but if you visit his video, the video link, and then you click on the play button in the corner to bring up the video, then you get this like full screen thing, and then you get this forever spinner. And what should happen is, like, this is actually an overlay on top of a Flash video, and we should be playing, or we should be offering to let the user activate that Flash plugin if the user has click to play enabled. And now this reporter is about to show us that, like, underneath all of this sort of DOM stuff, there is actually an iframe that has one of these click to play things in it, but when you click on it, it doesn't show the dialogue, the little sort of what do we call those? The door hanger to allow you to activate the plugin. So this is a click to play bug. Something is up, and I think it's my fault because they found that the regression was caused by this change set, which I landed way back in the day. To fix a race condition. So one of our tests was racing, if I remember correctly. One of our tests was racing, and so I added this like fix for it, and that allowed us to fix the test. The test was fixed. I think that's the one, or oh no. I have a feeling it was a separate one that they're referring to. They suspect it's this one, so we could actually go back. This is kind of bad because I'm already building. I can't really bisect this myself. We can go back and attempt to determine which one of these is actually causing the problem. I actually think, oh, it's one of these two things. And I wonder if I even have notes on this. If I had notes, if I'd posted notes, then it might help determine what's going wrong here. Hey, I did post some bug notes. Oh, I don't need to download them. No, I already have them. I just need to find my notes. So this is where bug notes pay off. Now I can swap in my mental state. So what was going on here? I was like, usually, okay, this is an important paragraph. The problem is that the frame script has a cache of all plugins it's seen for a page, and it only flushes it on signals from the parent when notifications are removed. That's too late because the notification might be removed long after the next page is loaded, and so we'd be using the old cache. That's why in some cases we're sending up information on multiple plugins when the page we're on has only ever seen one. And then I said I'm going to modify plugin content to flush the cache on page show. Page high is too late, since by that point the page being loaded might have already sent plugin events. However, this seems to break browser CTP notification bar, and I think I've basically just regressed hidden plugin support. Code attempts to get the information out of plugin data, and it's been cleared. Oh, and then I write this bit. Okay, I think I understand. Here's the story. I love when it's written like a story. Here we go. This all has to do with the lifetime of a cache inside a plugin content instance. That cache is called plugin data, and we use this cache to remember what plugins are on a particular page and map it to information we have about that plugin. We want that cache to clear when we move from page to page because one page might have completely different plugins from another. We're currently clearing that cache when we see that the click-to-play pop-up notification is removed. We send a message asynchronously to the child asking plugin content to clear its cache. I need to read that part again. We're currently clearing that cache when we see that the click-to-play notification is removed. We send a message asynchronously to the child asking plugin content to clear its cache. But if we're fast enough, we have a pocket of time where we're viewing some page. Our plugin data is out of sync because we haven't yet heard from the parent to clear out our cache. The natural inclination is to have the plugin content object listen for page hide or page show and clear the cache at that point. But both of those points are too late. Page show is fired after the DOM is bound to the tree and after plugins report that they instantiate. So we might send messages up to the parent about plugins with bad cache data just before we clear it out. Same goes for page hide, fires too late. So the solution is to listen for unload events for a page and clear the cache then. And I also want to remove the stuff that clears the cache when the notification is removed. With this new code, that old stuff won't be necessary. And then that I think that worked. Okay, so that's how that fix worked, and now we suspect that it is the cause for this regression. Sorry, where is it? This regression over here. Excuse me, sorry for the sneeze.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. Mamma mia!
Allergy season. Excuse me. So, let's see here. I can reproduce it now. And what else? What's the other information we need? We should probably look at the actual page itself to see what it does, how it works. Know your enemy. Okay, so what is this thing? What are we looking at here? And Nightly is being super sluggish because of building, but that's okay. That happens. Although we're working on it. We're working on it, making it better, especially on OS X. So this thing is a div. And on that div, there is... Oh, this whole thing is a link, apparently. And then there's a span, so it's contained within a div, which is contained within this other div. Whew, divs all the way down. We've got this video is a link that when we click it, we go to this URL, and maybe that's the operative URL. And then we have this like hidden SVG thing. What's going on? Some SVG stuff. So what is this? Is this an image? This must be an image. Maybe the image has the plus, like the play symbol on it. Let's take a look at it. Oh, can I just preview it? Yes, I can, but there's no play button. So where's that play button coming from? That's what happens if I make this go away. Display none. So not there. Maybe it's part of this div. I make it display none. Let's display none it and see what happens. So it goes away. So whatever that, like, wherever this thing is coming from, it's tied to, and probably tied to this. You know, it's probably under, yeah, it's under the link, of course. Should have been looking here. It's right here. It's another SVG thing. It's weird to see non-text being part of an anchor. I mean, there's no reason for an anchor to only contain text, but I normally just see text. So that's my excuse for not immediately realizing where this thing was. And clicking this doesn't appear to do anything in particular. I think it's the same as just clicking anywhere else. Okay. And that takes us to where? To this page. So I guess that page is where the action's happening, not here. This page is just a distraction. This is the interesting page. So, what do we have? Building, 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 building. Ooh. Oh, the video's working. Oh, you know why the video is probably working? Because HTML5. It's probably playing it through the, instead of the Flash client, it's using the HTML5 video stuff. Can I confirm that? Let's find out. Where am I? This is a lot of really awful naming. This has got to be machine generated crap. There's an iframe here. That I think is what holds the video. And there's this player. Yeah, and there's an HTML5 video container. And that explains why it's working for me, why I can see the video. But what I want is like the... Yeah, I want this thing. I want the... Wait, do I? What I want is the old school Flash player. Okay. Well, what I can do is I can disable HTML5 video and hopefully it will fall back. I'm pretty sure that they gave instructions in this bug on how to fall back to Flash video. And we can do that. How are we doing here? We're at 13 minutes. This should be done soon. Let's clobber build. So what I'll do, what will I do? I'll start up nightly. No, because it's already running and it's going to complain. I'll start up another copy of nightly with a different profile. We'll create, and we just have this test user profile, and in this one I will disable all of the like HTML5 video support. Apparently that's a bunch of these prefs I can just flip off. Oh, I have the title bar enabled here. I'm going to turn that off while I'm here. Oh, jank, 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 jank. Okay. About config media dot fragmented. So we turn these off. Enabled. These are already false, so don't worry about it. And then media web m. Turn that off. Media aug. we'll turn that off, and then media source, we'll turn that off. What else we do for apple.mp4, turn that off. So now when I restart this profile, hopefully, whenever I send the browser to this address, we can get the Flash player and we can get the bug to rear its head. Let's play a sound.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah. Or, let's see. How about... Love that sound. Alright, let's go to that address. So, see if we can reproduce the issue. Oh, we should also make sure that click to play is on for Flash, or else this is going to be very unsuccessful. Flash. Ask to activate. Good, good, good. Alright. Here we go. So, I click on this. Now I should get Forever Spinner. And now, if I attempt to inspect this, I should find that there's like this weird layering, this iframe probably containing a Flash app like plugin that's not activated. Oh, I think I just saw it. Like did I see it? No, I'm just imagining things. Here, is this it? Iframe. What's in here? Player unavailable. What do I want? What do I want? Where is it? Where is it? What did that fellow do in that video? How did that fellow reveal? Because this is just an image. That's what that is. If I like hide this image, it's just blank. There's just gray underneath it. Oh, oh, there it is. It's just like it's just really weird. It's massive and hard to activate. Okay, wacky. Um, there's this div here. Let's get rid of that. Okay, I can work with this. Why is this not showing the pop-up dialog? I think that's related. Like, because normally that would show the drop-down hanger. And I'm looking in the browser console for any problems. I don't see anything. Nothing. Alright, so let's switch over to the toolbox. I think we can go ahead and get rid of this, but we can get the toolbox. Ugh. Turns out I need that back so that I can... In this profile, I don't have the browser toolbox on, so luckily I don't have to restart in order to do that. I can go down here in the settings and enable remote debugging, enable browser Chrome, all this business. And so now, when I go here, come on computer, hold it together. Under developer, I get browser toolbox. So I'll use this to determine whether or not the message is even being sent to show the door hanger. So debugger. This build's probably taking longer than normal because I'm doing all this stuff on top of it. I'm doing this show on top of it. And that's okay. I think it's worth it. It's going to be worth the wait.
Mamma mia!
All right. So under, where do I want to look? Browser plugins? No, that's all joined together. It's all in one file at runtime. So we're looking for G plugin handler. That's the one. And it listens for things like show click to play notification and hide notification bar and show install notification. All these things. Plugin crash notification. So this one, is it being sent? Is this message being sent? So let's put a breakpoint there. Yes, yes, we are here. So the child did tell us, let's show that thing. And then we step inside. We skip this check. Ah. Data URIs, when linked to from some page, inherit the principal. So this is where we're bailing out here. And the reason is because data URIs, when linked to from some page, inherit the principal of that page. That means that we also need to compare the actual locations to ensure that we aren't getting a message from a data URI that we're no longer looking at. What is the location? In this case, the location is this massive thing from an iframe. And then the browser document URI. Oh, because it's an iframe. No, that's not going to work. We should probably only do that with data URIs. Wait, hold on. Browser document URI. What is browser.document URI? It's that. And then what is, what was it called? Received URI. It's something completely different. It matches up until to a point. All right. I don't think we care about this in the non-data URI case. Equals accept ref. What does equals accept ref do? I have to refresh my memory.
Oh yeah.
Compares the current URI with another URI, ignoring the value of the .ref member, and the .ref member is what? The part after the hash symbol. What is the location used for other than... The location is only ever used... It's the only place the location is used, right? Show click to play notification. Play notification. Location. It's used just here to do this check. I don't see it being used anywhere else. And I wonder if we're being sent the wrong one in this case. Um, show click to play. What is this location? This content document location ref. Oh, this has been a while since I've looked at this stuff. Okay, what's going on? When is a plugin content created? Is there one for every frame and iframe? Or is it just one for every top level document? That's one question. So when is a plugin content created? You'd think I would know this having worked on this, but it's been a while. You know, that information is gone now. So kind of unfortunately have to relearn it. Content.js. It's loaded, it's once per top level browser. Or top level content. So this dot content, what is this dot content? This dot content equals this global content when we initialize it. Plugin content, when is it initialized? Dot init. So whenever it's created with the global, and the global is passed new plugin content. Here, the global is this, right? So we have tab child global content. Need to hold on to the or else it'll get destroyed. That makes sense. Okay. Show. Show. Wow, what is it called again? Show click to play. Show click to play notification. Here. So we get the location from the root document. In this case, the root document location is this. And, right? The second one, yeah, that's the root document location. But the browser document URI is different. Why? Why is the browser document URI different from the content document location? Hmm. Hmm. Thinking. I don't have a thinking sound, so that's why I played that one. Hmm. Let's see. Thinking, thinking, thinking. So in the content process, this content document location ref is this, which matches what's in the URL bar, looks like, because it's got that slash photo at the end. But browser.documentURI.spec does not match. Why not? What was this? Like, browser.documentURI, when is that set? And how's my build going, by the way? Still building, half an hour in. That's crazy. Remote browser. Wait, what is it? Remote Document URI. Document URI. Return this dot underscore document URI. Okay, so somewhere someone sets document URI. Someone outside of us. Who? Here in remote web progress. When the location changes, we do this. Does this occur whenever we go from the page before to this page? Like, do we... Wait, JSON document URI, content location change. Let's set a breakpoint there now. This is in remote web progress. Whoop. Okay, now I'm going to play. Alright, let's go back. And we hit our breakpoint because the location changed. Now, the current browser, selected browser dot document URI, spec, G is this. It's missing. Do we don't even have the document URI. Let's do it again. I'm gonna reload the page, which will cause us to hit my breakpoint. That's okay. I don't care about it just yet. So I've got this like key thing. I would expect that to be part of the URI here. Yeah, there it is. So we got into some funky state. Something is out of sync here. Now I click on this. Hit the debugger again. The location, JSON.location. What is this? What is JSON.location? JSON.location is the old page that we were on. Still. Document URI. Okay. So we'll... Is it top level? Yes, and we do these things. We set it the document URI so that it's this thing. And then okay, the location has changed. Now so hold on. Now where are we? What's the spec? The spec is wrong. The spec is wrong now. Where's this like slash photo thing? You know what? I have a sneaking suspicion about what's going on here. Ooh, our build's complete. We can check our we can check things in a sec. Shoot, what do I want to do? So there's another bug that I've heard of recently that is something about it reminds me of this, and I wonder if they're related. Is there an event handler on this that will use push state on the history object? Scroll event handler, click. Oh my goodness. What's going on here? So, what I'll do is I'll check if there's anything in here that uses push state and any of the scripts loaded in here. Push state. Oh boy. Two places. And now I will pretty print it. Push state. This does. What is going on? This is replace state. This dot R. I don't even understand what's happening. What I suspect is that Google is doing something interesting with this page with respect to push state. Let me share with you a brief suspicion. So this is a bug I heard about yesterday, coincidentally. And this is a test that another developer wrote to demonstrate the problem. Here's the problem. So this is a test that opens a tab, a new foreground tab, and it takes you to example.com. So page loads. Then inside a frame script, we tell it to use the history API to push state. Now this is something that web content can do as well. What this does is it allows a web page to manipulate the browser history a little bit to like add things. Like a web page can tell your browser to go back and forward. It can also add things to your history. You can add history entries with like push state. This will cause URL bar to display, but it won't cause the browser to load bar or even check that bar.html exists. It's really weird, but it makes it so that like it's a way of manipulating this sort of the history state of the like your current history state, and like you can push and pop things off. I've never had to use these myself, but I understand that that's a nice way of making it so that you don't have to do a full page reload sometimes. Like, I suspect that that's what's going on here. Google is not doing a full page reload whenever you click on this to go to the next page. Instead, it's doing JavaScript, and that saves them like bandwidth and stuff, and it probably is a faster and smoother user experience. But they want you to be able to link to each like state that you're in, and so what they do is they push a state onto the history, so that if you were to like click this and then copy the URL, it would immediately take them to that later state, even though you didn't actually transition traditionally by like reloading the whole page, as some might be used to. And it looks like this attachment, that's what's going on here. We push this state to send the browser to .html, and then we check to see whether or not the current URI spec matches, and it doesn't. Like, the document URI will not match the place where we're supposed to be. Now, I don't know if this is like we push the state so that it looks like we're at 2.html. Then we check to see that the browser's current URI matches that, and we pass this. And then we send down a frame script that's like, tell us what the current document URI is. And this fails here, where the document URI does not match this. And that might be a bug, and there's some conversation about that going on here. So let's see whether or not, like, I'm assuming that this is related, and I think what would be best is to test. So let me write this down. I don't even think I've got notes for this bug yet. What is this? Click to play Adobe Flash. Do I? Yeah, I do. I suspect this is related to whoop, bug. Google Photos is using push state is probably is I believe I should be careful using history.pushState to manipulate the browser history, and that's causing and we're getting confused about what the current URI is. So first thing to do, confirm that history.pushState is being used by the test case. And by the test case, I don't mean the one that Shane wrote in this bug. Not this one that we were talking about before, but actually the Google Photos page. Like, make sure that history push state's being used. And the other thing I wanted to write down was that the reason that we're bailing out, why, like, this is the check that's failing. So I'll copy that. This is what's failing in show click to browser plugins.js's show click to play notification, and then I'll paste this, and now we have to confirm that. But before we move on, what's the time? It's 2:06. Ricardo's going to be taking my stuff, and he starts in about 55 minutes. I want to give him about 20 minutes, 25 minutes for setup time. So I'm going to keep going for about 25 minutes. So what am I going to do? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. Like, we've done some good detective work here, people. I'm going to go back and test the... shut this down. We're going to test the safe mode thing. So this is me and my test profile. E10S is enabled. I can tell because of the, you can't see where I'm pointing, but the suffix of each tab title says E10S. So that's good. And now I will restart in safe mode. And E10S is enabled. All right. And things seem to be working okay. Those non-E10S, ooh, remote add-ons child, invalid in operand dict. What's going on here? I'm seeing a lot of problems here. Remote add-ons child, what are you talking about? Line 27. Invalid in operand dict is what? So let's find out. Oh, hang on, where is that running? That's probably running in the child process, right? Yes, it is, so I have to use the content toolbox. So, here we go. What's calling me? Apparently the add-on shims are still enabled. Child web progress, get count, find paths, this, registered, entries. Oh, it's actually empty. So set default if key in dict. What is dict in this case? Dict will be, dict is undefined. What do we pass in? Dict was the first argument, tracked, and this dot underscore paths. This dot underscore paths is set when? Here. And add-ons get notifications. So I guess huh. Okay, I think that's unrelated. I'm going to write a note though. File follow-ups. So I have some follow-ups here. Has follow-ups to file. This is also an M7. I should put it on here. File follow-ups. So lots of in safe mode with E10S enabled. Looks like notification tracker.paths is undefined. Okay. So we'll let that go through. I don't need this breakpoint anymore. That's kind of bad. I wonder if that's one, like, if that's just the case, even with, if I were to just disable all my add-ons manually, I wonder if, like, that's a thing that's eating away at performance. Just all those errors, those exceptions. Woo! Big spinner. Hey, big spinner.
Oh, wow, 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 wow.
What's going on here? Did we crash the content process? What's happening? It's just taking forever. It's just taking its sweet time. That's what happened. The content process was asleep. Alright. Well, alright. I think the original thing that I wanted to fix is fixed. E10S is now enabled in safe mode. Someone is reporting that if you go to the Air Mozilla link to this video, says no playable sources found on latest Firefox Nightly. Uh-oh. I've pinged Richard, so hopefully he knows what's up. Okay. So what do I want to do? So I think this is good for review now. I'm going to have Felipe review it, I believe. So I will do that. And then review. Posting for review. Come on. It's a big drum roll. I'm gonna run out of drum roll here. Ah, I ran out of drum roll. That's the first time I've ever run out of drum roll before. What's going on here? Mercurial? Yeah. Here we go. Alright, we have our review request up. Sorry for the long drum roll. That was pretty slow. Okay, so let's review our own patch for a sec. Got rid of this thing. Got rid of this. Oh, apparently I need to log... What? Oh, I have to publish this before I can comment. So I'll publish it. And then I'll add Felipe as a reviewer. I should have probably done that first. And then in the diff, say, not sure if this is necessary. I thought it'd help illustrate why 3 was missing rather help leaving it out entirely. Not an issue. Publish. So that's it. Our patch is up, waiting for review. So I'm going to put this into the blocked on review state. Boop. And now what? It's 2:16. I want to confirm that history push state. Like, that's the thing I want to do next, was this history push state thing. But that means having to do a debug build, because I need to like attach a debugger to make sure that it's actually like history push state's actually being called. Yeah, it has to do a clobber. Boo. So this might take a little while. We're building again. Building. That's what happens.
Oh, wow, 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 wow.
It's 2:17. So we've got less than, I'd say, 15 minutes, 16, maybe 20 minutes, somewhere in there to do a thing. I don't know if I'm going to I don't know if we're gonna make it to this like history push state thing. And what can we do in the meantime? Well, uh, while I'm waiting to do that, I guess we could file this bug. So let's do that. Let's file a bug. Always be doing something useful. This would be under shims, which is extension compatibility. Lots of str1. So it's always good to put in steps to reproduce with safe mode. Help. We start with add-ons disabled. 2. Visit some web pages while monitoring console output. And I think it was going into the browser. It was probably going into the browser console as well, would be my guess. Exceptions like that. Let's find out though. Okay. I'm not seeing it here, but I'll probably see it in the content toolbox. No? Ooh. Yes. Yes. I am seeing it in the content toolbox. So, visits. Browse toolbox is enabled by, I think I had like a GIF that showed how to do it. Yeah. I think this demonstrates it. Yeah, okay. It's enabled by following these instructions. Start safe mode. The console of the browser content toolbox. So no error output from the add-on shims. Actual results. Lots of it looks like in safe mode, or maybe just with no add-ons enabled. Notification tracker dot paths is undefined and is being passed into set default as the dict. And I will CC the people who know the shims best, and that would be Bill M and Gabor. I will add it to the triage list. Boom, bug filed. So filed this bug. Done. Alright, how are we doing? I guess I can shut that down now. Bugs filed. Is there anything useful I can do now? Let's think. Is there anything small I can review? Maybe I can review this. Ooh, I'll review this. This is very small, I think. So here, view source, I don't know if you noticed, it opens in a tab now. And that's great. That was a lot of work from Jay Ryans, and it was building on top of the work that we were doing a couple weeks back, where we were making it so that view source never, or wasn't, we wanted to make sure that view source could retrieve from the network cache. And now we're kind of trying to do sort of the opposite, but in a particular case where if the user says reload on the page, we skip all caches, because I can't think of a single use case where someone is viewing the source and they hit reload and they want to see the same cached data. They probably want to see like the fresh stuff pulled down from the server. And that's what this bug's about. View source in tab ignores content changes on reload. Okay, so let's take a look at the patch. There were a couple of attempts at this. Turns out that it might be a lot simpler than we thought. And that's here. Gbrowser current URI scheme is view source. For bug 1167797, for view source we always skip the cache. That looks fine to me. Like what's going on down here in browser reload skip cache is we send these two flags along with the reload flags, and I think this looks okay to me. I'm going to give this a plus. I'm going to say good to go. I'm going to say this makes sense to me. Thank you, Jay Ryans. Boom. Patch reviewed. It was a very simple patch. And what I like, this browser reload function is where all, like if you were to use a key combo to try and reload, or if you hit this button, or if you use the context menu thing, like, what thing? There's a context menu where, what's an example? This thing, if you hit reload here, that will also go through browser reload. So this is the choke point, and now we are capturing the state, the case where we are viewing a view source page. So this works out. Good stuff, good stuff. And I've reduced my review queue by 1. So what's the time? What is the time? It is 2:27. I think I'm almost done. Time is nearly up. I want to do this push state thing, but I don't think I'm gonna have time. I think by the time this debug build is done, I think Ricardo will be up and running for his hour of design, or design hour. I don't remember what he calls it. What is it called? Ricardo, what do you call it? It's called the hour of design. Right. I knew it was one of those. So that's coming up next. I highly recommend watching it. I'm going to put a link to it in the IRC channel. His next episode. So let's see here. Let's see if we can find it. Let's find his next episode. This is episode 3. Here's his YouTube account. Episode 4. This is the one. This is the one you want to watch. He's going to be doing this in 31 minutes. Holy smokes. So I'm putting a link to that in IRC right now. That's coming up. I'm also going to update my agenda here with that link. Boom. And Joel Marr has also, like, I think he's only got a single Lost in Data episode up, but I believe he'll be making more soon, so keep an eye out for those. And, right, so what else did I want to talk about? Anything I want to talk about before I close down? No, I think we're pretty much done here. I'm going to switch back to my my splash with camera. That's this. Thank you so much for watching The Joy of Code episode 18. We're 18 episodes in, going strong, and I really appreciate everyone watching. And please give me feedback. If you've got the agenda open at the very bottom, there's like links to how to get in touch with me on various things like Twitter, my blog. You can probably get my personal email address out of there somehow, and you can contact me on IRC. Let me know what you think, what you want to see, and what you want to see more of, and what you want to see less of, and requests for sounds maybe. Who knows? And let me know what you think of the new theme music. The guy who worked on it, he's brilliant musician. I'm a big fan of his, and if you give me like information about what you thought about the new theme music, I will convey it to him, and then he will like emit gratitude. It's gonna be great. And I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna end the stream with it too. So it's good bookends. So thank you so much for watching The Joy of Code.
The joy of coding.
Or The Joy of Coding, really, is what it's called. The Joy of Coding. I should know the name of my own episodes. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching The Joy of Coding. One more time.
The joy of coding.
All right. See you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.